Fine. So we'll pick the item called as FBDA, file-based data import for suppliers. We'll see invoice approvals later. So FBDA, file-based data import for suppliers. As a part of every implementation project, not support project. As a part of every implementation project, so we need to move the suppliers information into Fusion from their current system. What are the current system they are using during the implementation? From that system, we have to move the data. Say a client is using, say PeopleSoft. From PeopleSoft, we have to move suppliers data to Oracle Cloud. Means financials, Oracle Cloud or Oracle Fusion Finance, or Oracle Cloud Fusion Financials. We are talking about suppliers data. So a client is using SAP and they are moving to Oracle. As client is using Microsoft Dynamics, client is moving to Oracle. So client might be using some Tally and a few other internal applications. They are moving to Oracle. Story is same. We have to move from these systems, whatever the system they are using, from those systems to, we have to move the data to Oracle. The process of moving the data from the third-party systems, these are not from Oracle, we can call as third party. So during the implementation, we need to move the data from these applications to Oracle application. These are third parties, but as a part of implementation, we call them as legacy systems. These are legacies. Before moving to Oracle, what are the systems they have been using? Those systems we call as legacy systems. That means during the implementation, there is a requirement of moving the data from legacy to Oracle. So this process you can call as data conversion, or you can call as data migration. In short, you can say DM. So now we are talking about suppliers data. Suppliers data we call as a master data. So we use supplier again and again to create the invoices as well as to make the payments. We are going to use again and again. That is reason supplier records we call as master data, or you can call as vendor master data. If you want to load vendor master data from any legacy system to Oracle applications, Oracle Fusion applications, so what process we have to follow? So we have to share FBDA templates to the client team. They may extract the data from their current system to the templates, or if they have a very few suppliers, they may enter through manual process into the templates. Most of the clients, what they do is they extract the data from their current system. So their current system data format can be different from Oracle by default. Ideally, it is different. So they are using SAP, they are moving to Oracle. In SAP, how they maintain suppliers data or vendor master records can be different from how we maintain within Oracle. That means the data format would be different. So now we have to bring the data from SAP to Oracle. That means the format need to be aligned. The data structure need to be aligned. So that is the reason we are calling as a conversion. We are converting the data format from SAP to Oracle format. Means what are the records we maintain as a supplier records. If you look at our supplier creation within the Fusion profile, address, site, site assignments, and along with that, we maintain the contacts. But if you look at SAP, PeopleSoft, Microsoft Dynamics, etc., there it could be like just supplier record, one record, everything you may provide the data. There may not be segregation of profile, address, site assignments. So you may create in some few systems supplier, profile, and address. That's it. There may not be any concept called as site also. So this is how between the systems, how we maintain the data records can be totally different, slightly different. So that information we call as kind of format. The data formats are different from different systems. So whatever the format data is maintained in those systems, ultimately we have to bring into the Fusion that data we need as per Oracle format. So since we are converting the data format from their current system to as per Oracle format, we call as data conversion. We are doing the conversion. We do conversion, we convert as well as we move from the systems to Oracle system. That is the reason we call as data migration, means movement. We are moving the data from current system, means these are legacy we call, to Oracle. I took 4 examples. You think your client may use 1 or 2. So that's what we have to understand about data conversion or migration. It is one of the key activity in every project. It is one of the key activity in every project. So now in Fusion, we have FPDA templates, file-based data import templates. We have FPDA templates. So FPDA stands for file-based data import. File-based data import means the file-based data import. This template will help us to create the file. That file you can, within the file you can have a supplier's data. That data you can import. By using FPDA template, you can create the data files. Those you can import into application as a part of data migration. In Fusion, this is the process we follow. If it is EBS, okay, it could be EBS 11A or R12. EBS, what practice we used to follow. So if you want to move the data from any third party, or say call it as a legacy, that is the right term, any legacy system to Fusion, EBS 11A or R12 applications, if you want to move, what practice we used to follow in EBS? Let's see that. As a finance consultant, we have to create the templates. Create templates. In EBS, Oracle is not providing any predefined templates. So it is our headache. We have to create the template. You may create from the scratch, or you may use the templates which already you used for other projects. And you may slightly change as per the current client data requirements. Other side, it should match to EBS data formats. Ultimately, we need to create the templates. That is a job of finance consultant. After creating the templates, we have to educate the client about the templates. Educate client. Here client simply use the term as a business. Educate business means client team. Simply you can call as business team. And other side, there will be technical team also from the client. When you work with any client, if you are working for any client, so here there will be client IT team and client business team. So the client IT team, they are experts on the applications what client is already using. The business team, they know how they are operating the business, how they are maintaining the transactions within the system. Okay, the IT team for technology, the products what they are using, the business team to run the business operations in the company as well as what are the application they are using. This team will take care of that application transaction entry report generations. So when you talk about these templates, we have to educate the business team means we have to talk to the IT team as well as business team. We have to explain these templates. Hey, these are the details we need in order to create the suppliers in EBS or Fusion. That's how we have to talk to them. The templates we have to show. So we have to educate them. We'll conduct one session to them. Okay, we'll conduct one session to them. So we will present this template and we'll explain so what data is required. So that's how we have to educate, and we will share the templates. The templates, if it is EBS, will share templates. So first we need to create the templates in case of EBS implementations. So educate the business team, or simply you can say it's both. It's not just a business team, client, IT as well as business. Educate client, then share the templates. Then what they do is they extract data from legacy. Whatever the system they are using, they'll extract the data. After extracted, how they extract, who will extract? Client IT team. Okay, client IT team will extract the data into templates. What are the templates we given? They extract. So they extract the data by using some queries. They write the programming. They extract. In some projects, the client will ask our technical team to do the job for them. So most of the cases, client team you find as they are capable to extract and give the data. Then in case of EBS, technical consultants means our technical consultants from our company side as a part of implementation team from our side. We are functional. Along with that, we'll have a technical consultant. The technical consultants, what they do is they write a lot of coding, programming. Okay, they write a lot of coding or say programming, and by using that, and also they write a lot of coding to read the data which is there in the templates. They write a lot of coding to read the data which is available in that templates. And the template data, what they do is the technical people, they convert data as okay required formats. They'll convert the data into required formats, and they'll create staging tables, temporary tables, and they'll write a lot of coding. This coding to read the data which is available in those required formats, and again this coding required for validation to validate the data, and again this coding will be useful to load the data into staging tables. After that, again they write coding for further validations. Before loading into staging, they have to do many validation. Once data is available in the staging, again they write coding for validations. Again they have to write some coding to move data from staging tables to interface tables. And finally, import data into base tables. Importing, we can do it. This task is simple, running one job. Import data into base tables if data is available in interface tables. But this is the core activity which need to be executed by technical consultant. In EBS, if no technical consultant, no data conversion can be performed. 100% dependency on the technical consultants. 100% dependency. As a functional consultant, we create template. Any data, I'm not talking about only supplier. It could be customers data. It could be AP invoices data, or AR transactions data, or FA assets data. Any data migration or any data conversion, this is a practice we follow in EBS. In EBS, we need to create the templates, and we have to educate the client about this template, what is the meaning of the template fields, which are mandatory, which are optional. And we have to share the same templates by requesting to provide the data, relevant data, separate templates for supplier, separate template for invoices, open invoices, and payables, separate templates. So that we have to just create separately. Then once we share, with whom you can share, ideally we share with the IT team as well as business team also. So once we share, the client IT team will extract the data from their current system, and they'll populate the data in our templates. And then technical people will come into the picture. So there will be heavy work for technical team. They have to, once they receive the templates with the data, they have to convert those templates into required format. It could be CSV or other formats, comma separated value, or any format they need, they will convert. After converting, they need to create the staging tables, temporary tables. Then they write the coding, which will help them to read the data which is available in the files, specific file format, and it will read and it will validate. And again, the data need to be loaded into staging tables. For that, technical people should write the coding. Once they load the data into staging table, and again they have to validate the data. When we push this data into Oracle finance applications, the records are going to be successful or any records are going to be failed. The validations they write, they will test. If everything is working fine, if they find out something is wrong, some data is missing in the records, again they'll come back to us, and we contact the client and we ask them, few records are incomplete. That's how they'll provide the data. the technical team will keep exercising, reading, validating, loading into staging, again running the validations to make sure whether these records will be successful or failed when we load into Oracle specific application. And finally, if everything is fine, validations are successful, all the records, then again they'll write the coding to move the data from staging tables to base tables, staging tables to interface tables. They move the data by using the coding. They'll write the separate scripts. So a lot of coding, huge coding. That is a hell for them. So it's a big task in every project. So they'll move the data from staging to interface tables. Once data is available in the interface table, that simply we can import into base tables. But in every project, there is huge dependency on the technical consultants for the data conversion. It could be vanilla implementation. Vanilla implementation means no customizations. So it could be vanilla implementation. We need technical consultant at least for the data conversions. Say no integrations, no custom reports. Just example I'm giving. Still, we need technical consultant. Technical consultant is mandatory in EBS projects just because of data conversion. Without technical consultant, you cannot execute any data conversions. Now in the Fusion, we no need to create the templates. Yes, we have to educate the client and we have to share the templates to the client. But when you talk about Fusion applications, Oracle is providing the templates. In case of EBS, we have to design those templates. We use the Excel spreadsheets and we create the templates by giving the columns as per Oracle data format. And that's how we have to get ready with the templates. In case of Fusion, so this we no need to create. Anyway, here we have to, let me write here as a Fusion. Okay. So no need to create the templates. I'll write as not applicable. So no need to create the templates in case of Fusion. Oracle is providing FBDA templates. Yes, it could be Fusion or EBS. We have to educate the client about the templates. We have to introduce those templates. How I am going to introduce today to the templates to you. Yes, after educating the client, it could be EBS or Fusion. You have to share the templates with the client. It could be EBS or Fusion implementation. Anyway, client should extract the data from their legacy system and they have to share with us. And technical team need to convert those data into required formats, not applicable here. And they no need to create the staging tables. They no need to write the coding. No need to write validations. No need to do anything to move from staging to interface. That means when these all are not required, we don't need technical consultant also. So that's how we have data conversion or data migration process in case of Fusion. Yes, this need to be, this is yes, we have to import. So this is how it works. So there is no technical dependency. In Fusion also, if they want to follow such kind of process, still possible, but reality not required since Oracle is providing very much validated templates as a FBDA templates. Those are very much validated. So those can help us to load the data without technical consultant. In EBS, data conversion should be done by technical consultants, but in the Fusion, data conversion can be done by functional consultants. Okay, functional consultant. This is one of the reason there is a less demand for technical consultants in the fusion. If you look at EBS projects, there may not be integration, may not be some customization, but definitely 100% in every EBS project, we need technical consultant just because of data migrations. Every project we need. It's a huge work in terms of data conversions. But in the fusion, that dependency is not there. Okay. So being a functional consultant, you may be finance or you may be SCM functional or HCM functional. So you can use these templates and you can load the data. Those templates are very much validated templates. So this is what we have to understand. Now you can forget about this story. Just this can help you to understand how things can be done in the EBS. So compared to that, our job is very easy and no dependency on technical people. So that's what we have to understand. We no need to create the templates. Yes, the templates what Oracle is providing, we have to educate the client about the template. We have to show and explain how to fill the data. So how those templates works, what is the process we will follow, and we'll share the templates. And yes, client has to extract the data from their legacy and they have to load the data into templates which we given. So those templates need to be converted into required formats and no technical job. So once the files are available, we can directly load into interface and we can import into base tables. Just try to understand these points. Okay, just try to understand these points. Just make a note. Okay, just make a note of these points. So what you should write, I don't keep in the spreadsheet. So just make a note. These points we have to make a note. Now I'm just going to remove this data. Just to understand the background, that's all. Now, so what process we are going to follow to load the supplier's data? The first step, we have to download FPDA templates from Oracle portal. We'll see that. Say, download FPDA templates from Oracle OER, or simply you can call as OER. O stands for Oracle. Okay, download FPDA templates from OER. OER stands for Oracle Enterprise Repository. Okay, Oracle Enterprise Repository. They are providing one portal like repository. From there you can download. That is open link. Anyone can go and download. No logins are required. So download FPDA templates from Oracle OER. If you are going to load the suppliers, download supplier related FPDA templates. After downloading, what we have to do, reality, we have to share the templates, we have to educate the client and we have to share the client, and client will give the all the suppliers data. But here we don't have such kind of opportunity. Since we don't have client here to give the suppliers data, only the task for us is we will prepare the data in the templates. The real process is educate the client, give the templates to client, let them extract the data, then we will receive the templates with the data. Here no option. So to execute this, to test it, we will prepare the template, we will prepare the data in the template. Prepare data in the template. So reality, we get the data from the client, but now no option. We'll prepare the data in the template for our testing purpose. We may prepare or we may get from the client. Once data is ready in the templates, we have to create CSV files. We have to create the CSV files, comma separated value files. Okay, we have to create the CSV files. The data which is available in the templates, based on the data, we create CSV files. We create CSV files. We'll see how those files we can create. Done. Once the files are ready, those files we can place files in UCM. UCM stands for Universal Content Management. I'm not writing what is OER UCM. I'm expecting you are writing. Okay, UCM stands for Universal Content Management. Okay, UCM stands for Universal Content Management. Make a note. Everything you have to write. If you are just listening, like song or dialogues, no use. You can understand, but later no use. Everything you should write it. So the CSV files will place in UCM. Again, UCM is kind of repository service. It is just similar to kind of staging service. So we can place the files within the instance for a temporary purpose. Just you can place the files. After placing the files in the UCM, within the files, we have a data. Data is available in the CSV format. Now the data which is the data files which are available in the UCM, that files will move to interface tables. So take the point as populate data in interface tables. Populate the data in the interface tables. We have seen how to create the suppliers in the system. If you want to bring the suppliers data, okay, if you want to bring the suppliers data into Fusion applications from outside, maybe from other applications or from other files, for supplier, there is separate interface. Through that interface, we'll bring the data. If you want to enter into the room, door is the interface. If no door, you cannot enter. The same way, if you want to bring the data into the system environment, we use the concept called as interface. Like it is a channel, it is a kind of door. Through that channel, data can enter. So since data is related to suppliers, we have a separate interface for suppliers. Suppliers interface, or you can call it suppliers open interface. Now, we'll populate the data into interface tables. From there, we import data, okay, into base tables. Okay, here we just populate the data into interface tables. Finally, import the data into base tables. Then we can review the data. Review data. Once you import, we'll go and review the records are loaded or not. Yes, when you import, yes, there itself will get a confirmation. Still, from front end, you can review. Now, within the application environment, within our application environment, first data will come to interface or interface tables. From there, it will come to base tables. Within the application, two steps. Of course, you may place the files in the UCM first. You can place the files in the UCM, and from there you can move to interface tables, or else you can bypass this step. You can eliminate this step. That means the data files directly you can populate in the interface tables. Placing the files in UCM is not mandatory. If you want to place the files in the UCM, yes, you can place, but not mandatory. If you place in the UCM, files would be available in the UCM. If you don't place the files in the UCM, Yes, the files could be available in your system only. From system, you have to populate into interface tables, or else you can keep the files in the UCM so that who has access to that instance, everybody can have access to those files since you placed in the UCM, not in your machine. If you place the files in your machine, in your laptop or desktop, you will have access. If you place the files in the UCM, UCM is part of Fusion instance, files should be available for everybody. Anyone can take the further action as required. That's the difference. Placing the files in UCM is not mandatory. So you can create the CSV files. That CSV files directly you can populate in the interface tables. From there you can import the data and you can review the data. And again, here, when we are executing this process, how it works. Say you have 100 suppliers. Okay, you have 100 suppliers. So 100 suppliers data we have in the template that we converted to CSV. We are trying to load into the system by following the process, just populating interface from interface to base tables. So out of 100 suppliers, 2 suppliers are incomplete data. 2 suppliers we have a incomplete data. Incomplete data. If you have incomplete data during this process, okay, during this process, populating in interface tables, base tables, depending on which data again, during this process, system will stop those 2 suppliers, remaining 98 suppliers you can execute. Note this point. It is not going to stop all the records. The records which are ending with error, it will give error message also. Why the records, what data is missing in those records? It will show error message, and remaining records it will process. It is not going to stop all the records. Okay, so that's a very important point. You have 100 suppliers, 2 suppliers data is incomplete or some wrong information you have in that supplier records. So irrelevant data you have. It could be the data format, maybe the field required field is in number format, but you have some other text, or else the information what you given that is not proper value for that field. So such kind of details, or else few fields are missing, whatever it may be. So when system will identify that is not a valid record, it will stop that record. Remaining records it will execute. It is not going to stop everything. And another point, say 100 suppliers records you have, out of that 10 records are duplicate suppliers. Again here, it's like it will look at, doesn't matter you give supplier name in the uppercase or lowercase. So it will identify, it can read and it can understand. That's how Oracle written the program. We don't need any technical consultant to write any programming. So that's how the product level, they have that sort of validations. Otherwise, these all validations need to be written by technical people in case of EBS. But here, 2 records not valid, it will exclude those, and it will exclude those records. Remaining records, it will process. And 100 suppliers records you have, 10 records are duplicate records. It will ignore the duplicate records and it will process remaining 90 records. And even it will generate the report also. So which records are ended with error? What is the reason for that error? Maybe duplicate record or else some data is missing. So that's how it is. In that case, once we execute in this example, out of 100, 90 records will be processed. System will generate the report. How many successfully loaded, how many not loaded. It will generate the report. By looking at the report, you can go to that supplier sheet again and you can correct those 10 records, or else you can identify, like if any errors you can correct, if duplicate, that's fine. You can take a confirmation from the business saying that we identified, our system identified 10 records are duplicate. So are there duplicate, or you have a suppliers with a similar name, we have to get a confirmation. Accordingly, we have to load those records if required. So this is how it works. Yep. Now let's see this process. So this is a process we are going to follow. Same process applicable for any data conversion. It could be supplier or customer, or it could be payables, open invoices, receivables, transactions, or assets, data, same process. Download FBDA template from OER. OER stands for Oracle Enterprise Repository. And prepare data in the template. That OER, we are talking about FBDA template. So what is the OER? Oracle Enterprise Repository. That is one of the website portal from where you can download these templates. No login is required. So once you download the FBDA templates, you have to prepare the data in the templates. Then once data is ready in the templates, the template data you can convert into CSV files. Okay. And that files, CSV files, you can place in the UCM, but not mandatory. And if you place in the UCM, from UCM, you can populate the data into interface tables, or else directly these files, you can pop in these files, what are the data you have, that you can populate into interface tables. Then finally, you can import the data into base tables. Finally, you can import the data into base tables. Then you can review the data. Once you complete that program, you can review. Maybe at this stage or at this stage, if anything wrong with the data, you will get notified. Reason: to populate the data into interface tables, we have to submit the job. So the job may end with the status as succeeded, or it may end with error, or it may end with a warning. But it's recommended to that whenever the file is executed, like the status will turn into succeeded, still you have to go and open the file, like what system will generate. There you can understand how many records are loaded. So when we are dealing with these files, what Oracle did is, even there is some error, they are not showing as a process as a error. They are showing as succeeded. Reason is, there could be few records which are successfully loaded, few records not loaded. So if they give as error, that means everything is ending with error. That is a meaning. So to understand, if you are loading multiple records, to understand, you have to see the output file. Then only you can understand. Otherwise, you have 100 records, 10 records are duplicate, 90 records are processed. You may see the status as a succeeded, but when you open the output file, then only you understand 90 only succeeded, 10 are duplicate, system stopped. You have to open and see the output file. Then you will understand. By seeing the status, don't take any confirmation when you are loading the data. So you may just come across with issues at this stage or at this stage. Okay, two stages. Interface level you may come across. When you are moving the data from interface to base tables, you may come across, right? Say for example, you are going to load the supplier sites. What are the supplier name you given in the template? That supplier is not available in the system. In that case, the record will fail. You are trying to create the supplier site against no supplier in the system. So that's how it is. We will see more detail. So process wise, how it works. CSV files. First we'll move to UCM. From UCM, the data will go to suppliers open interface. From supplier open interface to base tables. say since data is related to supplier base tables. So this is the end-to-end process. We no need to talk about downloading, collecting data. The process wise, how you have to execute. So you have to maintain the CSV files based on the data files, based on the templates, FBDA templates. That files we have to place in the UCM. And from there, we'll be moving the data into supplier open interface or tables. Within the interface, we'll have a tables. Or you can say supplier open interface tables, nothing wrong. We'll move the data into interface, but in interface, we'll have a tables to hold the data. So supplier open interface tables. From there, we'll move the data into base tables. So whatever the setups we do, whatever the transaction we record, always that will get stored in the base tables. So base tables data can be stored permanently. Interface tables, we store the data for temporary purpose. During this load process, we use the interface tables. Base tables to store the data permanently. Interface tables only for a temporary purpose. That's how it works. So that is a process we have to follow. Now, when we talk about loading the supplier's data, we have to recall how we created supplier, the same process we are going to follow to load the suppliers. How we created supplier? When you talk about supplier creation, first we created supplier profile, then we created supplier address, then we performed the activity called as site creation, supplier site, and we assigned site, say site assignments. We assigned site to business unit. Also, we created supplier contact, but supplier contact information is not mandatory as a part of supplier creation. Without supplier contact information also, yes, you can use the supplier, but these 4 steps are mandatory to create the supplier. So to create the supplier, these 4 steps are mandatory. Profile creation, address creation, site creation, and site assignments mandatory. If you want to create the contacts, create. If you don't want to create, ignore it. But reality, yes, we create contacts also. Now, for these 4 steps, we have 4 separate templates. We don't have a single template to load the complete supplier information in one go. The step-by-step process. First, we have to load all the supplier profiles, then all the supplier addresses, all supplier sites, and all supplier site assignments. So that's how Oracle is providing 4 different templates. If you want to load the supplier contacts, separate template we have. So we have 4 separate templates for these 4 sets of information, which can define the entire supplier record. So 4 templates we have. So now we'll go and download these 4 templates and we'll follow this process. And at these stages, we use the separate jobs. Which jobs? Those jobs also you can see in the OER itself. You don't need to remember anything. You can see and you can do. That's how it is. Okay, fine. Now we'll go and download the templates from OER, Oracle Enterprise Repository. Just go to Google and search for Oracle FBDA templates for suppliers. Means supplier related FBDA templates. Now here is the link. File based data import, nothing but FBDA for procurement. The supplier related templates are available under procurement segregation or categorization of the templates. So before we use the suppliers in finance, suppliers information is required from procurement side. That is the reason they categorized supplier related information comes under procurement. But remember, in all the projects, we load the suppliers data. In some project, maybe procurement team may load the suppliers. In most of the implementations, so finance team is responsible to load the suppliers. So search in the Google like Oracle FPDA templates for supplier, and you will get this link, file-based data import for procurement. Now click on this link. Click on that link. So here, scroll little down. You have a content section. Here, scroll little down. We can go to supplier model. You have supplier model. Under supplier model, you have all the templates related to supplier. The product, services, categories, classification, etc. We no need to deal with those. That if required, procurement team will load. But the primary data we should load. So here is one template for supplier profile. Import suppliers, nothing but supplier profile. Then here is another template for supplier addresses. Import supplier addresses, and template for supplier sites. Import supplier sites. And here is another template which we need, supplier site assignments. To assign the site to BU, here is the template. If you want to load the contacts, yes, we have a separate template. So that's how we have a different templates to capture and load the relevant data based on the supplier structure. It's all about structuring the supplier information, structure, profile, address, site assignment. This is how the complete supplier information is structured. Now let's download those templates. So click on, here we can see hyperlink. We got hyperlink, import suppliers. Click on that hyperlink. So once you click on that hyperlink, that link will display the relevant information in the right side. Click here, it will display import supplier sites. Click on import suppliers, is displaying the data. Now, here we discussed we need to place the file in UCM but not mandatory. If you want to place the file in the UCM, in which UCM account you have to place supplier profile file, here is a clue. UCM account is PRC supplier import. This is one of the UCM account. So within this account, you can place the file if you want to place, or else directly you can populate it in interface tables that we discussed. So PRC stands for procurement. PRC, procurement. Then UCM, the account is PRC supplier import. Here you can place the file if you want to place, but not mandatory, just for information. And here the file links are available. Excel SM template. Here is a link. So by clicking on this link, we can download supplier profile template. Supplier profile template. The control file and all, we don't need to deal with that. And if you want to load this file related data, we are going to use this job name. We're going to use this job name. The job name will use at two stages. To populate the data into interface tables, to import the data into base tables. At these two stages, we use this job name. So we discussed, you can place the files in the UCM, or else directly the file data you can populate it to interface tables. In which interface table the data will be populated? Supplier profile data. Supplier profile data is going to be populated in which interface table? Here is the table name. POZ means purchasing. Purchasing suppliers INT. INT stands for interface. So refers this table is part of interface, not base table. Okay. POZ suppliers interface. In this table, supplier profile information can be populated, can be stored temporary purpose. Okay, that's how it is. See here, one point you have to understand. When you talk about supplier, you should not say supplier is belongs to payables or supplier is belongs to purchasing. It is common entity. We use suppliers in purchasing or procurement and payables application. That is reason. So Oracle also giving this supplier record definition as a supplier model. They are calling as separate as a supplier model. They are not keeping this under purchasing application or payables application. Okay, so that's how it is. So don't think we are loading the suppliers into payables, into purchasing. No, into system we are loading with a respect to interface what Oracle provided. That's it. So that can be shared across purchasing and payables application. So these are the points you have to understand. So import suppliers refers supplier profile related template. So once template is ready, once you prepare the data, once the data file CSV file is ready, that file you can place in this UCM, but not mandatory. And file you can download from this link. And two stages as we discussed. At these two stages, to import, to populate the data in interface tables, from interface to, if you want to move the data into base tables, we are going to use this job. When you populate the data into interface tables, in which table the supplier profile data will go and sit for a temporary purpose, the table name is available here. And if you want to understand, you can click on supplier import process hyperlink, which talks about the process explanation. You can read if you have a time. So create suppliers with the import supplier process. You can read this data. Okay. Read if required. Okay. You can just read and you can understand each and every point. We are clearly telling just some limitations, etc. System will create the zip file. Okay, limit the number of attachments in each zip file. Means whenever we create the CSV file, CSV file will go to CSV file automatically. System will zip. It will take into zip file. We are saying the limitations. Zip file size. Okay, the reduce the number of attachments in the file. So file even further if the zip file size is more than 1.5 GB, all the some notes they are giving. Okay. See here, when you import large number of suppliers, have a maximum of 25,000 records in batch. If you have a more than 25 records, create multiple batches. You just execute multiple times. One time just you can read high level so that you'll get good insight about it apart from what we are doing. Just one round you may read it, or else fine even if you follow the process what we are going to discuss. You may just read one time. Yeah, that's how it is. Fine, let's follow the process. So let's download this template. click on suppliers import template, Excel template. This is Excel template. Click on it. So file is downloaded, and go to addresses. Same process. Here for addresses, separate job we have and separate interface table we have. Download the template, and UCM account is same. It may be profile, it may be address, it may be site, or it may be site assignment. All are related to supplier. That is the reason all the files you can place in the same account. But based on the data, if it is profile, one job. If it is address, relevant job. If it is site, different job. Supplier, sites, site assignments, supplier site assignments. So based on the data, interface tables also different. POZ supplier INT, POZ supplier addresses INT. So POZ supplier sites INT. If you are loading the third party relationships, separate interface. So we have seen how to create the third party relationship between the two suppliers. Such kind of relationships data also you can load by using the sites template. So for that, there is separate interface table which can where we can store the data temporary purpose, and site assignments, separate job and separate interface table. So we downloaded supplier template. Let's download addresses template. Just hit this URL, go to sites, download, site assignments, download it. Okay, so let's copy those templates into our folder. So we have like ERP3 folder. So just keep those files in this folder. The 4 templates, these are the templates. You see the name also, they're given as a template. Supplier import template, all are templates. Now, let's follow the process as we discussed. So one step we completed. Download FPDA templates from OER. Next step, prepare the data in the template. Reality will give this template. We'll explain these templates, and we will educate the client. We'll give to the business. They will put the data in this template by extracting from their current system. They'll populate the data in the template. They'll give us. Then we'll convert into CSV. But now that opportunity we don't have. For our testing purpose, let's create 1 or 2 suppliers within the template so that we can create the CSV file and we can execute this end-to-end process. Save. Just close this. The first one is supplier import template. Open this template. And click on enable editing. Is just based on our Excel settings. Click on enable editing. So we have seen the rapid implementation template. There first we find the instructions, then we input the data and we create the file. The same applicable for any template and most of the templates what Oracle provides. Within this template, the first sheet is instructions and the CSV generation. The second sheet is POZ suppliers INT. Exactly that interface table name they are giving as a sheet name. So here you may read the instructions, how to deal with this template. How to deal with this template to understand, you can read this. Okay. You can just read this overview. Suppliers interface process allow you to load suppliers from an external system. any other system to Fusion. If you want to load, supplier interface will allow you to do that. Now this file also is treated as external. Supplier interface, that's what we discussed. Supplier open interface, supplier interface or supplier open interface process allows you to load suppliers from an external system. It may be system or it may be file or etc. The process validates data in the POZ suppliers INT table. So once data is populated in this table, it is an interface table. Here itself you can see the same we have seen in the portal also. The process validates the data in the POZ suppliers INT. Once data we populate in this interface table, okay, Oracle can validate it. When you submit the jobs itself will validate it. And once the data is available in this, once the data is populated, when you are trying to populate, if anything wrong, system will identify the errors and it will throw the message. That means it is happening through validation. We don't need technical consultant to write any program to validate. It's a standard programming. So standard process can validate it. Then once data is okay in the POZ supplier INT table, okay, it is supplier profile. Then the data will be moved to the table. I mean, the data, whatever you have in the supplier interface tables, which is validated, the data can be moved to POZ suppliers table. So this is a base table name. Okay, this is a base table name, POZ suppliers. Here, the supplier profile information can be stored to this table. Okay, so a few other tables, HZ parties, HZ organization profiles, HZ party usage, assignments. Okay, so that's how just we have different tables. So these tables we call as party related tables. So POZ suppliers, yes, supplier table. So the supplier data can be stored in these party related tables. In the system, it may be supplier, it may be customer, it may be legal entity. These all we call as a parties. These all are treated as a parties. So that is the reason, along with the supplier related table, this data can be stored in these tables also. Okay, these tables also. That is the point we have to understand. So this is a base table. Yes, these are also base tables, but these are designed as a party record maintenance. Okay. So for loading the data into POZ suppliers INT table, please use the control file POZ suppliers INT. This is a file we'll support. It's automatically it happens. We no need to do anything with that. So we have to run the jobs, it will execute it. So the rest of instructions you can see here, prepare the, okay, just preparing the table data and load the data and Excel template format. And you can see recommendations for loading suppliers data and importing the loaded data. Okay, based on the releases and all, some notes they given. So these are the instructions. These are the instructions to understand as well as to follow. Okay. So this is the interface table for supplier profile. This is the base table name. You don't need to worry about these tables. These we call as party tables. There is a concept called as TCA, Trading Community Architecture. So even you have a separate tables for your supplier, again that information will be stored in the TCA related tables. TCA tables you can find which starts with HZ. HZ refers party related tables. So this is what we have to understand when we deal with this template. Now, if you go to POZ suppliers INT, here you can see sample data. When you download the template from the portal, so you can see the template itself with the sample data. Oracle is providing sample data so that you can refer accordingly. You can execute this process. Tomorrow, when you have to educate your client about this template, use this sample data. You say, hey, this is how we are expecting the supplier's data. We need supplier name. We need tax organization type. If you are following the supplier type specification, it's optional field. Provide it. And if you want to record the transactions with that supplier, make sure business relationship would be spend authorized, or else you have a supplier which you are using in the sourcing application, then you make it as a prospective, and other fields also we just talk about it. Only key fields, you no need to talk about each and every field. The primary fields you can talk about it. So when you just come to this sheet, you can see one tab called as show additional attributes. Every field is treated as attribute as per, it's a database language, database terminology. In table, what are the columns we call, what are the columns we have, those all we call as a attributes. So these are the attributes only. Supplier name is one attribute. Is each and every field from front end, what we call as a field, in the back end as per table, that is called as a column or attribute. So by default, few columns are displayed here. If you want to see hidden columns, click on show additional attributes. It added additional columns. So always click on show additional attributes when you are in this sheet. See? Show, right? Always click on show. Now, to prepare this template to load, you can remove all the sample records except one record. One record we can use for our reference purpose. I'm removing all the records except one. This one we can use for reference. Now let's look at the columns. Let's look at these columns. So batch ID. You can just group multiple records into one batch. Okay, multiple records you can group into one batch. You can group multiple records into one batch. Maybe 1,000 records, I'll give same batch name, batch ID. Okay, for 1,000 records, I may give batch ID as this. For all, I will use the same ID. That means I'm grouping the suppliers into one batch ID. But this is not mandatory. It is an optional field. Let's ignore it. And what action we are going to do through this template? This template allows us to perform two actions. One is you can create new supplier, or else for existing supplier, you can do any updates. If you look at import actions, you can see two values we have. You can create the supplier by using this template, or you can update existing supplier. Create means you can give all the details. This file, this template will help us to create the file. Through that file, you can create the new supplier. So already you created one supplier. Supplier name is say ABC. ABC supplier is already there in the system, but the supplier name I want to update to different name. I want to update this ABC as XYZ. I have to select import action as an update. Then what would be the new supplier name? Maybe XYZ. So this is how you can use this template to update existing suppliers data. So now we are not going to update. We are going to create the supplier. Okay, create the supplier. Right. So supplier name. So supplier name I'll give ERP tree. Now we have a supplier as, we don't have any supplier as ERP tree. right? We created supplier as Amex. Now we'll create supplier as ERP3. Okay, ERP3 Consulting Services Private Limited. So supplier name we given, and new supplier and all not applicable. Supplier number. So we have seen in the system, supplier number system is generating automatically. But if you are loading the data from this template, you have option to give the supplier number. You just read the description here. Again, you see the data type. So data type is varchar 30 characters. The supplier number you can provide in the 30 characters. Description, supplier number. If you plan to use automatic supplier numbering, then no value need to be provided here. If you provide any supplier number here, system will use this number. By using this number, it will create the supplier record. If you don't provide here, by default, as per our setup, specify supplier numbering, there is one sequence. It will follow that. If you provide, it will use this number. If you don't provide, it will follow the number which is running in the instance. That is a point you have to understand. Let system take the number which is there in the system level. No need to provide some random number, etc. So leave it. So, and sometimes client says, I need supplier number which is in my legacy system. At present, they are using SAP. In SAP, for every supplier, they have a number. The same number they want to carry to Fusion application. Yes, ask them to enter their supplier numbers here, what they have in SAP. The same with the same number, supplier will be created in Fusion also. In such kind of scenarios, they may use this field. By default, not required. System can generate the number. And tax organization type, when you create the supplier, we have seen. So we provide the corporation. Go to instance. Go to supplier creation page just to refer and understand. Procurement suppliers. Procurement suppliers. Now, just go to create supplier. Here we provide the supplier name, right? And we give the business relationship and tax organization type. If you provide these details, what system will create? Accordingly, you have to prepare this sheet. This sheet is equal to this pop-up. That's it. Based on this input, system will create the number and it will just update certain details. Accordingly, they given the sheet. So sheet, we are giving the supplier name. Yes, we given supplier name. The sheet level here in the instance, we are giving business relationship as spend authorized. Yes, we will give the business relationship here. The business relationship should be spend authorized. Then only you can create purchase orders and invoices. So as per this sheet, as per this application, we have to provide tax organization type as a corporation or anything else. Same here, we have a tax organization type. Here we don't have any drop down. You have to enter the value which is available in this list. Make a note. Okay, you cannot enter whatever the name you want to enter. If you are entering any name here as a tax organization type, make sure that name is already available in the instance. Otherwise, record will fail. So whatever the list you have, from this. Again, the tax organization type field is lookup value. We have seen pay group is lookup value. We can add n number of pay groups in the same way. So tax organization type also one of the lookup. You can go to lookups, there you can search for tax organization type. In that, whatever the tax organization types you enter, those will be displayed here. Is all like these many by default Oracle doesn't provide. So few guys created this supplier local, supplier global. Okay, some robo a foreign corporation, just corporation, and EM corp. The guys who are practicing in this instance, they added this through tax organization type lookup. Okay, through lookup, you can add the values we have seen. In the same way, tax organization type also lookup. So when you are implementing, if supplier has different tax organization types, those all you can add into lookup. Those will be available here. Which are available here, those only you have to update here. Otherwise, record will fail. As per application, this field is mandatory. As per this sheet, it is not mandatory. Why? This sheet is not only designed to create, to update also. When you are going to update the existing supplier record, tax organization type, you may change, may not change. That is the reason field Oracle is addressing whether mandatory or optional by understanding the two scenarios, creation as well as updating. That is the reason it is mandatory. Otherwise, only you are going to create means it should be mandatory. Sometimes you may update, that is the reason it is optional. So here there is a field called as supplier type. Already we have seen the supplier type. So by using the supplier type only, we given the tax authority as a the withholding tax authority type as tax authority, right? If you just provide these details and if you say create, so system will create supplier profile. The profile level you see the field called as supplier type. Again, supplier type field also lookup only. So you can go to lookups and you can search for the lookup called as supplier type. In the type, whatever you enter, those you can see here. These all are coming from the lookup only. Few Oracle is providing. If you want to create any additional, you can create. What you create as additional, those are just values, but what Oracle is providing, in few cases, those has certain backend programming. Tax authority, there is a programming is aligned with that value. But what you and me create, those are nothing, just those for classification. Those you may use when we are executing the payments in the PPR. PPR supplier type also we have. So other purposes you may use. But supplier type is one of the lookup. You can create new values. Those will be displayed in this field. That's it. Now, if you want to give any type, when you talk to the client team, you have to talk these points. If you have any, do you classify the supplier based on the type? If they say yes, you provide all those. Once they provide all those here in this template, all those you have to create in the system through lookup. Then only that record will be loaded successfully. The system is trying to load here. Supplier type is X. The same X should be here. Otherwise, it will fail. That's how it is. So these points we have to understand. As of now, we are not giving any supplier type. That's how it is. Now, since this supplier created through manual process, the note you can see as it's a manual. So now we are going to load, right? That's how it is. So this is how just you can enter details here. So you can remove the records, whatever we don't require. I mean, whatever the fields data we don't require, you can remove. So certain details system will populate automatically. If you want to keep that country name, yes, you can keep or remove this taxpayer ID, etc. Not required. Just check all the columns because we are referring the sample record and we are creating. So just you can refer. all the columns one time before we proceed with the next step. Okay. Done. So this is how you have to prepare. If you want to prepare few more suppliers, yes, you can do that. Let's add one more record. Create. I'll say other supplier name is ERP3 job guarantee program. Yes, not supplier, but I'm creating. Say corporation, copy and paste. Select spend authorized. Let's create one more. Create. And ERP3 online training. These are not suppliers. We know very well. Just I'm using the names. Corporation. This I want to create as a prospect. Okay. That's all. And what supplier we have in the system? Amex we have, and Amex INC we have. So Amex Corporation is inactivated. Now only Amex INC we have. Now what I will do is Amex Corporation. I'll just manual update. Now with Amex only we have Amex INC. Now this supplier I want to update. Amex INC is the supplier name. Now here I want to update this record. Which is supplier I want to update? Amex INC, right? Same. Amex INC. I'm going to update. And this supplier name I want to update to Amex Corporation. Okay, Amex Corporation. So just already we have a tax organization type. I no need to give again the business relationship and all. It's a very clear same. If you want to just since field wise mandatory, but it's not applicable for update. The field is mandatory. Even system can understand. If you want to give, you can provide that. That's it. So this is how you can prepare the data and you can submit. So we have to, this is how we'll get the data from the client. This is how we'll get the data from the client. So once we get the data from the client, you go to instructions and do CSV generation. Click on generate CSV file. Click on generate CSV file. When you click on generate CSV file, system will create two CSV files. One file it will take into GIF file. Another CSV file it will create as a separate file. So click on generate CSV file. So where we want to save it, we have a folder as ERP3, save it. So see POZ suppliers INT is the file name. Save as type automatically system is selected GIF file. It should be saved in the GIF file. Only files which are in the GIF file format, those only we can load. Okay, into the GIF file, it will take CSV automatically. We no need to do anything. Say save. and it will create one more CSV file as a separate file. Okay, this file also save into the same folder. Save it. So CSV and zip file have been created. Done. Say okay. Now we'll go and see those files. Here is the zip file POZ suppliers INT. So against this template, this file is created. It's a zip file. Open the zip file. Inside you will have a CSV file. Here is a CSV file. Open CSV. It's a format wise CSV. Otherwise, it's our Excel only. It will put all the data like this. No columns, etc. But still system can understand as per our database arrangement, this will work. That's it. This we call a CSV file. Close it. Now, CSV file we have in the zip file, and we have one more extra file system generated, which is CSV. POZ supplier INT. That's okay. This file you may use when you submit, when you load. If anything goes wrong, directly you can update here something, or else say, so you are creating, system may end the message saying that no Amex INC to update as Amex Corporation. That's how you may get message. In that case, directly you can come to the CSV and you can check whether the supplier Amex is available to what name. Here you may update to maybe Amex INCC. You can correct, you can save this file. Okay, you can save this file. This file, you can, in this zip file, you can remove this file. You move this file from into this file. That's how you can utilize this extra CSV file. If any corrections need to be done for the data, you will submit this file. You may end with some error. And again, instead of going to this template and correcting, again creating the CSV file, directly CSV file level, you can do the corrections. And in the zip file, whatever the CSV file you have, remove that, delete it. So corrected CSV file, you can move into this CSV. You can correct, you can move into this zip file. That zip file you can submit. So for such kind of cases, you can use that extra one. So instead of going and hitting the file which is available in the zip file already. Yeah. So as of now, there is no use of this file. If there is a case where you have to correct, you correct in this, that file you move into this zip file. Before that, you remove or else you replace, then you submit. So that's how you can use. For now, this is enough for us. So file is ready. What is the next step? So prepare data in the template. Yes, we prepared. Create CSV file. Yes, we created. Now you can place the file in the UCM, but not mandatory. Okay. But when you place the file in the UCM, this is not a client instance. Okay. This is not a client instance. So this is training purpose and testing purpose. Think always before you and me, many people use this instance. That means whatever the file system is creating, POZ suppliers INT, the same name it creates for everybody. That means with the same name, file should be available in the UCM. So for our identification purpose, you may give some different name to this. I'll give X. I'm just prefixing. I'm putting prefix so that if I place this file in the UCM, I'll be able to identify this. This file can be differentiated. Everybody will load, may load as a POZ supplier INT. So you cannot figure out which is your file. That is reason if you are placing in the UCM while you are practicing, keep like this. Tomorrow when you are working, you don't need to change any name. So you are the one who are going to load. Nobody will be practicing, etc., in the client instance. Right. Here you may just to differentiate with other files, you can put some prefix or suffix. Now, even it is not mandatory right? Let's try to understand how to place the file in UCM. To place the file in the UCM, just go to instance and go to navigator, expand tools. Under tools, there is a task called as file import and export. This task will navigate us to UCM, Universal Content Management. Click on file import and export. So this page is referred as a UCM page. From here, we can load. So which account we have to place the file? That information we have in the same supplier related template related page. This page we call as OER. In Oracle Enterprise Repository itself, you can see in which account we have to place the file. This is the account. Here is the clue. Now go to instance. So click on upload. Click on the plus icon to upload the file. Choose the file here. The file which is in our mission, choose it. So we have on desktop in this folder. Here is the file. Choose. This file need to be placed in the proper account. So since file is related to supplier, that need to be placed in the supplier specific account. So go to accounts. Many accounts are available. So the account name is PRC supplier import. We have seen in OER itself. So look for PRC. Here is the account name. PRC / supplier import. Select. Now click on save and close. Now file is available in the instance. Now you can work from any instance. Say you are using one system, file will be in that system. You want to practice this process. You have to be able to access. You should be able to access to that system. Then only you can exercise this. Now if the file is available in this. If you are not going to execute, I can execute. The file is accessible to everybody. Try to understand this point. If the file is available in your machine, it is accessible to you only. If you place the file in the UCM, anyone can access from here. Anyone can take this process to next level. That's how it is. That is the difference. Directly from your machine also you can upload the data into interface tables. But if you place here, so it will be accessible to everybody. That's it. Now file is available in the UCM. That's all. Now what is the next step? The data we have to populate into interface tables. The file what we have in the UCM. So within that file we have a data. So which data? Suppliers data. The suppliers data we have to populate into interface table. So to do that, we use one master job. Irrespective of suppliers data or customers data or payable invoices or receivables transactions or assets or journals, irrespective of which data, there is one master job that we have to submit. The job name is like load interface file for import. This is a master job. And based on the data, we use the sub job. Along with this, if it is suppliers data, we have to use suppliers import job. If it is addresses, supplier import job, supplier addresses import. We use child jobs based on the file is belongs to which data. Irrespective of the file contains which data, this is a master job we have to use for this load process. Notice that. Now to populate the data into interface tables, we have to submit this job. Along with that, the file data is belongs to which date file is belongs to which data. Accordingly, we have to choose the job name. Means child job, you can say. Let's see this. Now go to ESS job page, right? Tools, scheduled processes, and click on schedule new process. The job name is load interface. Just type and use a tab, it will fetch. Load interface file for import. Okay, load interface file for import. So transfer setups are transfer data files from user specified location to interface tables. So whatever the file you are going to pick, within the file, whatever the data is available, the data may be setup data, transactional data. Ideally, supplier data is treated as a setup data, but it is kind of operational setup data. Organization always they'll keep creating the new suppliers. Comes under setup, but operational based setup. Creating primary ledger, business units and all not operational. Those are one-time setups. But supplier is we set up, but it's all the time. They'll be keep creating. That comes under operational setup. And transactional data, as of now, we are not loading any invoices, etc. But the same program we can use. That's what we discussed. And user specified location. User specified location. What is the location? UCM. If not UCM, your desktop from your system, that could be location. We'll specify from where the file we are going to pick. So that data will be populated into interface tables. For that, we are using this job. Okay, it will transfer the data which is available in the file to interface tables. Now say okay. So import process. The import process name should be based on the data file. If the data file is supplier profiles, relevant job, import process, nothing but job name here. So given that label as import process, nothing but job name. Job name. Supplier profile means supplier profile related job. Supplier addresses, address related job. Site related job. Site assignment related job. Now, which process we have to select here? Which file we are going to load? Supplier profile. If it is supplier profile, then go to supplier profile related the page here, import suppliers. In case of import suppliers, which is the job we have to use import suppliers. So this job you have to select here. Click on drop down. Click on search. Which file you are going to load? Inside the file, what data we have? The data specific job we have to select. It's a profile related. Profile purpose, we have import suppliers job. Import suppliers. Say okay. Now, a data file. You have it two options. One is the files what you place in the UCM, those would be available in the drop down. If you click here, all the files which are available in the UCM, you can see. Even we placed our file in the UCM in the supplier related account, PRC supplier import. So since import process we selected as import supplier, it will connect to that account. Within that PRC import suppliers, whatever the files are available, it will display. These are the files are available. Here is our file. We give a prefix as X, right? So there are many files. Everybody is testing. So this is our file. This is how you can select the file which is available in the UCM that would be populated in this field to select. Or else think we never placed any file in the UCM. That file is available on our desktop. Yes, we can access directly from here. It is not mandatory we have to place the file in the UCM. to access here. If you don't place the file in the UCM, what you can do is click on drop down. Here is the action like upload a new file. Click on upload a new file. Directly you can choose the file into this field or parameter. We call as a parameter field, but as per submission of report or job or program, it's a parameter. So click on choose file. Now here is the file in our machine. This you can select. Just keep the name as it is. So select it. Selected. Now this file will be selected into this data file parameter. Say OK. So already you placed in the UCM, you can access. You never placed a file in the UCM, still okay, you can access from here. Now you can click on submit. Say OK. Click on refresh. Okay. So load interface file for import. Its job is running now. So we have interface table. As per this table, so this template is available. As per the table, which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional, accordingly this template is available. Again, this template is designed as per this table as well as interface. Based on this POZ suppliers table format, interface is designed. Now, the similar fields, same fields you'll have like POZ suppliers and this table. It's interface table, that is a base table. So here and there, the same fields will have. The data should pass through this interface and finally it has to be stored in the base table called as POZ suppliers. POZ suppliers. In this table, it has to store. So that's how it is. Now, within this table level, there are validations. You can see here clearly. Okay. The process validates the data in the POZ suppliers INT. Now we submitted some job is running, right? Now when this job is running, the validations will trigger. What it will check? As per this interface table only, we have this sheet. Okay, we have this sheet. In this sheet, for example, I didn't provide supplier name. I given create, I given tax organization type, etc. But I didn't provide supplier name. As per this interface table, okay, as per this interface table, supplier name field will be mandatory. Then it will identify. So supplier name is missing, so record. That's how it will generate the report. Okay. So even when you are loading the data into interface tables, records can fail if mandatory fields data is not available in the template or in the CSV file, or else the record may fail. So when, say for example, as per this template, not this you can choose as per this template, say supplier number. Okay, say supplier number should be only supplier, the number field, the data type. Here they are given varchar, but ideally say for example only number. Think data type is only number. Only this field allows number. Take like that. As of now, you see that data type is varchar. So you can just enter any character, alphanumeric and all you can enter. That's how it works since it's a manual input in the sheet. So ideally, if it is a data type is number, only number is allowed. So that's how the database table is designed only to accept supplier number as a number only, not alphanumeric. But you are inputting here alphanumeric. When this record will go in interface table level, interface table, the supplier number field will reject that record since supplier number in the alphanumeric, but it should be number. So because of data type also, the field is mandatory, data is available, but that field allows only number, but you entered alphanumeric. With this reason also, the interface can reject the record. Means there is a chance where interface level itself, the record will fail. In that case, it will throw error message. Then you have to come back to this CSV file and you have to correct and you have to resubmit. That's how it works. When we are trying to push the data from CSV file to interface table, we are trying to push the data from interface the CSV file to interface tables. In interface, as per the fields which are mandatory if data is not available in the CSV for specific record, or as per interface tables, if specific field data type is only number, but you provided as per the sheet alphanumeric, that could be the reason why record will fail. Right? Other points also we discussed. If some field, take example. So this field is mandatory as per interface table. If this column is mandatory as per interface table, and if you are not providing the data, the record will fail. Or you are providing the data, this data is not available in the application, but this record will not fail. Interface doesn't know whether this corporation is available or not in the system. That system will come to know in the next level. When you are trying to push the data from interface to base tables, so then system will understand corporation name is not available in the system, then it will fail. Now it will understand data type, as per data type, data is available or not. If field is mandatory, data is available or not. It cannot cross check the tax organization type is available or not in the system, because as of now, no connection with the system, just we are pushing up to interface. Okay, we are pushing up to interface only. So we are pushing from directly CSV to here or UCM to here. So interface level, what are the validation? Which field is mandatory? As for all mandatory fields, data is provided, data is coming from the CSV or not, it will check. As per the interface table, each field is designed for which data type, accordingly data is coming or not, it will check. But when system is going to create the supplier, that time only that field is required. But as per interface, that field is mandatory. If it is available, okay. But that value is available or not, it won't bother about it. That will fail when you try to push the data from interface tables to base tables. That time that validation will come. As of now, mandatory data is available or not? Yes, available. And the fields, in all the fields, mandatory fields or optional fields, whatever the data is provided as per the field properties. So certain fields only designed for number, certain fields for date. See, inactive date. Here, if I enter some number, this record will fail, because interface level in inactive date field allows only number date, but I give a number. This record will fail. At interface level only it will fail. So this is how the validations works. So data type is not matching, record will fail. Or mandatory fields data is not provided, the record will fail. You may provide tax organization type which is not available in the system, but interface will accept. Interface doesn't know whether corporation is available or not. Interface job is tax organization type field is mandatory. Any text is provided or not. Okay, great. When you try to push the data from interface table to base table, if data is not available in the system, the tax organization type, the base table will slap the record. Interface cannot slap the record. Interface doesn't know whether the value is available in the system or not. Its job is mandatory field data is available. Yes, mandatory field data is available as per the data type or not. That's it. So that's how the validations takes place. So this is what we have to understand when we are loading this. Now we'll check the status, refresh. So you can see the jobs executed. So these 3 jobs system triggered. Load interface file for import succeeded. This will call another job called as transfer file. It has to transfer from UCM. Even if you select directly also, it will be routed through UCM. So transfer file is transferring. In the file, whatever the data is available, that it is loading into interface. It is populating into interface. Okay. This is initiating. This job is transferring the data file from the UCM to interface level. Interface level, whatever the data we have in that file, it is populating into interface tables. 3 jobs, you can see the status as succeeded. Now it means data loaded into interface. Okay, data loaded into interface. Now data would be available in which interface? So we have seen the name POJ suppliers interface. Now you no need to go and query the data in the interface, not required. When we come across SQL query, if you want to go and query, you can query. So simple. You can go and say, select star from POJ supplier INT. You can say all the suppliers data which is available in the interface, it will display. That will write SQL query, that time you can understand, but you no need to check what data is available in the interface. So if here it is just updating that information as a succeeded, right? It is updating the information as a succeeded. So this confirmation is enough for us. So 3 jobs, right? One is load interface file for import, then transfer, then another one is load file to interface. The first job is load interface file for import. Log on the output file. Here you click on that. Here you can see if anything goes wrong, here by opening this log file, you can see what's wrong with that. Anyway, here the interface, this program will give the message as a error, etc. If you see this job status as an error, then select, click on this one more at output log, and CSV which we submitted, you don't need to look into that. You click on this log file. In the log file, it will show the message if anything wrong with any record, right? If anything wrong with that, it will display. So as of now, nothing wrong with this. When you are trying to push the data from interface to base tables, it will create separate file. There you can see how many successfully loaded into application, how many are struck within interface only. That it will show. That file is different. As of now, you can see log file only. Done. What is the next step? Now we can call it as we populated data into interface tables. Now we have to import the data into base tables. To import the data into base tables, again you no need to use this master job. Simply you can use the job called as import suppliers. This job is enough. This job, what it will do is, whatever the data now we loaded into this interface table, from this interface table, this job will move the data into here, into this table. Means data will be moved from this table to this table. Who will do that? This job will do it. Okay, from interface, data will be moved to base tables. It will move. If data is available in the interface table as per base table requirement, that's it. If base table is accepting, then only this record will go from interface to base table. Otherwise, base table will give big slap and it will end with some error message, and the record will stay in the interface only. The error output file will be generated. You can look into and you can correct it. Say system is showing the supplier, the tax organization type is not available. Then you go and create tax organization type in the system. So as per whatever the tax organization types you given in the supplier file level. So supplier file level, you have a 5 tax organization types, but in the system you have 3, 2 are missing. Just go and add it. Again, you submit import suppliers. Then again, this program will try to push the data from this interface to that base table. That time, if the same tax organization type or any other field is available, it will accept. That's how it works. Okay, that's how it works. Now we have to submit this job. Only this job, no master job. Now click on schedule new process. The job name is what? Import suppliers. For profile purpose, suppliers. Import suppliers. Say okay. So what this job will do, you can read the message. It creates or it updates depending on the data and what action you select. Okay. Will create and updates the job purpose for both, how you are using accordingly it works. So it creates supplier from the data in the supplier open interface tables we discussed. Okay, supplier open interface tables, supplier open interface tables. Same, this table only we are calling as a open interface table. Table name is this. So whatever the data is available in the interface tables, that data it will try to push into base table called as POZ suppliers. Say okay, yes, that's what we need. Okay, that's what we need. Now say here we have 4 records. Say I given batch ID 1111 1111, here 2222. Okay, 2222, 1111, 2222. Now this total 4 records belongs to 2 batches. Now we loaded this data. Data is available in interface tables. Interface tables. Now here you have a parameter batch ID. If I give batch ID 1111 here, now 4 records are available in the interface table. But if I give 1111, with the 1111, how many records are available? Only 2 records. From interface, it will import only those 2 records. How many records are aligned with this batch ID? Only those records it will load. And again, in the interface level, import option. The interface level, whatever the new records are available, that only it will import. New records only it will import. Say for example, you are loading, you identified one mistake. Okay, you identified one mistake, you corrected an instance. In that case, here you have to select rejected records. So this import suppliers try to push the data from interface to base tables rejected because something wrong with that record. That value is not available in the instance which should be. Such kind of rejected records you are trying to push, select as a rejected. No, brand new records for the first time you are going to push, keep as new. Or else few records you have new, few records already system rejected, you did the correction in the system, this time again you are trying to push, then keep import option as a all. Report exceptions only. Okay, exceptions only, it has to report yes or no, you can set. just keep as like it's not like exceptions only. Always it has to generate the report for us. Okay. Not only exceptions, everything. Just report exceptions only. If you set S, any exceptions, then only it will report. Keep as no, it will generate the report. So this is how it is. Okay. So anyway, now we don't have any rejected records, etc. as of now. All are new. So whatever the records are available in the interface, okay, whatever the records are available in the interface as a new records, those only we are trying to load. It has to generate the report. It may be, there may be errors, may not be errors. It has to generate. We are not just asking this program to import only specific batch ID related records. No, we are not asking that. Okay. First of all, we are not following this. You may follow. In that case, you can have filter the records where you can load it. So even that Oracle given the node maximum how many records you can load through one batch they given. So those points you can notice. So those are the points you have to understand. Now just we are accepting as in no batch ID we given, no filter is required. All are new records only. So then you can say submit. Say okay. Refresh. The import supplier job is triggered, is running. Now import suppliers job ended with error. Now you can see the report. Just click on one more and you see, just let's save on the desktop. Open that file. And you see suppliers not imported 1. Suppliers imported 3. Now here, how many suppliers we created? 4 supplier creation, 1 supplier update we given. Again, another important point, notice when we are doing this process, the records can be other records also. Interface level, you can have few other records. It will try to push all the records. Now, if you click on this 1, it will display what is that 1. If you click on 3, it will take you to that section, or else you can scroll. Now see, update. The issue with update record. So what is the issue? So import action is update. Which is supplier we are trying to update? Amex Inc. The supplier number is 122. What is the issue? The rejection reason. The attribute must be null when import action is update. Which attribute? Business relationship, spend authorized. See, already supplier is created. There will be relationship in the system which you cannot update. As per system C, let's go to instance. Close it. Go to procurement, suppliers, go to Amex Inc. Click on edit. Now already for Amex Inc. we have business relationship as a spend authorized. Can we update in the system? No. When we are not able to update, even this process also follows the same. Now, if you look at this record, for Amex Inc., we given spend authorized. If it is new supplier, yes, it will create, but we are asking to update, which cannot be updated. Even this process also cannot update. Now what you can do is, so here, just close this. Now you no need to generate one more file, just make it simple. Already we have file. So here we have file. Go to this file. I'll remove this. That's what system is saying. So attribute business relationship, you given value as a spend authorized. Okay, that is reason it is rejecting. Attribute must be null. Reason, existing supplier, you are updating the name but not other parameters which are not allowed, not allowed. You have seen in the instance, this cannot be updated for any existing supplier. I can change the name only. Which are editable fields, those you can edit. Which are not editable, it may be manual, it may be spreadsheet, not applicable, not possible. The same message. Now what I will do is extra one more file system created, right? I will use that file. I'll remove this, save it. I saved. Now what I will do is I'll go to this file. I'll remove this file. CSV I'm removing. And I have corrected file in this. I have corrected data. This I can move into this. Okay. This you can move into this. We just copied. Now open this just for confirmation. Just close this. It's already open. Now go here. Okay. Yeah. There is nothing like the type specification, relationship type. Now this is a proper file. Now same process I'll follow. I cannot go and update the data which is there in the interface. Again, I'll submit the file to interface. Even the data is available in the interface, no issues. It will replace. Now again, we have to run these two processes. Because problem with the record, not with the application side. So again, you have to run this, you have to complete this task and again this task. And anyway, other files are loaded. You can see. The suppliers imported 3. The suppliers are already imported. 3 suppliers are imported. Which suppliers? Which we given as a create. ERP3 Consulting Services Private Limited, ERP3 Job Guarantee Program, ERP3 Online Trainings with the suppliers names. System create these numbers. System used from system. We never provided supplier number in the template level. Yeah. So we'll just go and check. Instance level will check. Then we will resubmit. That record will get corrected. It will update. So manage suppliers, search with ERP3. So ERP3 Consulting Services, Job Guarantee Program, ERP3 Online Training. So these two we created as a business relationship, spend authorized. This is as a prospective. That's it. If you open this supplier, you see how it is created through import process. Now no address and all. Just we loaded only profile. No address, no sites. That's what we have to understand. Now this supplier is different. ERP just for a testing purpose, withholding tax testing we created. When you are practicing in stuff, fetching the multiple records, you can change the name so that when you search with some name, that only will come. Otherwise, all the time, 2-3 records will come. You have to choose, simplify. Only these 3. That's how it is. Now, what about 4th record? We have some issue that we corrected. Now, what we can do when you are correcting, you have an option here. So in this file, only problem with this record, you can keep this record remaining, you can remove also. You can remove. And only this record you can keep and you can submit. That is okay, or else keep all no issues. Okay, keep all records, no issues, it will work. Anything is fine, but doesn't make sense if you are keeping these records. Even if you keep no issues, system can understand. It will replace, it will update as required. This is how you may just update it. Okay, that's how you can update and you can take into that. Now anyway, we moved that file into CSV, right? The file just here you can update, but here already we have in the GIF file. You may have the same record or other records also accept, but again it won't be loaded. Duplication system will not allow. Now follow the process. Same process. Tools, scheduled processes. Load interface file for import. Say okay. So we know the job name, that is import suppliers. Import suppliers. So where is the file? Choose that file. So file we have here. We have to select only GIF file. Select. Say okay. Submit. Say okay. Refresh. Now, so successfully that records, whatever records are not there in the interface, those are loaded into interface. Now submit next job from here itself. That is import suppliers. So import suppliers. Say okay. So you can select. Now it's a new record we brought. It is not rejected, but anyway, you give all so that it will just take care any record. If something wrong from the application side, that's a different story. Now, you see, we discussed, right? System will detect the duplicate records and all. Just open this. Save on the desktop. This is the file 26. So import suppliers not imported 64. Why I given all I given? There are many records in the interface. Okay, all it is showing. These are the different suppliers which are there to show. Now, okay, here we updated for our testing purpose supplier INCC. During the discussions we updated. You must provide a valid value for the attribute called as vendor name. It's wrong. We have a supplier as Amex INC only, INCC not. During our discussions, just we discussed that. That's how it is. Okay. So this is another record. This is already, it was there in the interface level. So with the spend authorized, that is the reason it's not accepting. Now this is issue. What you can do is, again, we have a good exercise. Go to that file. Go to this file. it was not visible, so only one C. Okay, rest you may remove if you want to remove. That's fine. Now that file you have to move into this zip file. From in zip file, whatever you have, remove this. Delete. Now you can move this file into this. Check moved or not. Yes. Now again follow the same process. Load interface file for import. The job name is import suppliers. Import suppliers is the job. Select the data file. Here is the file. Say OK. Click on submit. Refresh. This is a new record only. This we submitted new record. Existing records a different story. So that's how it is. So three jobs status is succeeded because we given by default parameters new. We didn't change to all are rejected. So now you can just open the output file. You will see that record is successfully loaded. The log file is not creating anything. That means it's not reporting any errors at all. Okay. So that's how it is. Now we'll go and find that supplier here. Now there should not be supplier with the name Amex Inc. That should be Amex Corporation. This Amex is not updated. One sec. Okay, we didn't submit this job, right? Import suppliers, we didn't submit. So we selected sub job along with that master job. This we have to submit. Okay, this is a due. Yes, you can say as a new record or else you can say all records. Anything is fine. But what we are loading, it's a new only. So this job we didn't submit. Only first job we submitted. That is the reason it was not updated. Submit this second job. Yes, there are many records in the interface. That is the reason it is ending with error. No issues. Our record will pass. Open it. One, two, three is the file name. Save. Open. The suppliers imported one. That is our supplier. Remaining 67. There are suppliers records in the interface which are lying with the different errors. Those you may just look into for our understanding purpose. So all those error related, what you can see here, this IENCC, that is there, we left in the interface only. We didn't request the system to give an attempt to existing, but it's nothing wrong from the application side. That is the reason we ignored. And You can see a few other records also, like which are successfully loaded and which are not loaded. You can see all. You must provide the value called as the import action. Somebody submitted without import action, create or update. So mostly those are the issues. Yep. So that's how it is. Yeah. Now we'll go on to check our supplier. So search for Amex. Now Amex is available as a Amex Corporation. From this, like with by following this process, we use the action called as update. So that's how you can load the suppliers. Okay, this is how you can load the suppliers. Yeah, this is a limited as per online classes. In case of job guarantee, we will discuss many things. We have to prepare the document and we have to go with logics. Many things would be there when we are working. By knowing this, you cannot execute the suppliers conversions or open transactions, anything. Since these are online classes, so you are limited to learn only just how to load it. But in case of 100% guarantee, if you are in the project, yes, you will be able to handle everything. So what you should know that everything you learn in the 100% job guarantee program. What is the data conversion strategy, the approach, and how to deal with cutoff dates and logics. Many things should be there. So with this, yeah, you may get job and but you will struggle. That is a fact. Okay, fine. So that's all about loading the supplier data. Of course, we loaded only profile. In the tomorrow session, we'll execute remaining. So this is what we have to understand, how to load, what are the points we have to understand. So rest we'll see in the tomorrow session. Now, if you have any questions, you can unmute and you can ask the questions. Yes, you are allowed to ask questions now. Any questions from anyone, please? Any questions?
Sir, this is Gautam. So I was wondering, can we do like all these FDI uploads of supplier or master data at the end once we are done with payables completely? And especially this part, as well as the approvals, how to define approvals, how to create BI reports. I believe those are the next session, right?
Any reason?
Because that breaks the flow.
No, nothing. See, this is one of the activity in the payables. That's it. Yeah, you ignore it. Don't worry. This video you can see later. Yeah, no flow here. It is one of the concept. What see when you are in the project, many things breaks us. We have to accept. We have to understand, and we have to travel. It is not like breaking the flow. Understanding one of the concept. Otherwise, I can think custom roles also can break the flow. Right?
Okay.
Not
Yeah.
like that. It is like one of the concept. So within the payables, we have to learn when you are in the payables zone. Since it is a break the flow, I should not plan suppliers, customers, transactions, and all in the end of the program, right? Or end of the application. Not required, just it's one of the concept that we should be able to accept. We should digest those things. That's it. So don't think when you are working, everything will become difficult if you think like that. Many things will come to you when you are in the project. You should do the multitasking. This is single one we are doing one after one, but in the project you have to do multitasking, meetings, configuration, so documentation, this, that, many things. This is after all nothing. Yeah, don't find it's a big and just it creates some confusion, etc. No, accept it please, so that you can just become that. Any other questions from anyone, please?
In sheet we have supplier new name and also have alternate name. What is that alternate new name exactly refers?
You may have some alternative name, right? You have a long name and some alias name, right?
Okay.
That's how it is alternate.
In system where we can see that alternate name in suppliers page.
You'll see just there will be a separate field. You look into that. That is
Okay.
not important. That is the reason I don't talk about it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
fine. Any other questions? No questions. Great. Okay, we'll catch up tomorrow, same time, and we'll execute rest of supplier files. After this, we will just see how to load the invoices also. How to load the open invoices in the payables. So if no questions, we can wind up. If you have any questions, please. And again, I'm telling, see, it's just I'm giving some point. It may be useful for a few guys and sharing the reality. Now you are learning through online only just how to load it. But when you are working, the story would be different. Okay, that would be in the remaining is 75%, which is there in the 100% job guarantee program. So many things, but just doing how to do in the system, no, how to do in the project, that everything we have to learn, the strategy, documents preparation, and many things, logics, etc., for data conversions. So once you are okay, you will be able to work without any challenges. Otherwise, people may get the job maybe through proxy, or else you can go through these classes. Yes, these classes also will help you to get the job. Okay, you can crack interviews, but cracking interview is not a big task. If you don't crack, other people also ready to crack for you. But who is going to be in the ground? So it's a matter we are going to be. If we are not okay with the skill set, how much is required, we'll be struggling. So again, I'm recommending 100% job guarantee program. So which will help you in all the ways. So you can keep yourself safe and secured in the work environment in terms of performing the work. And my suggestion is don't go with the confidence you have some many years of experience on so and so technologies or tracks, or and your friend is consultant, your uncle is consultant, you know, big people in the companies. No one can help you on the spot. When you are talking to the client, when you are in the meeting, the solution architect or client can ask something, you know, after all 25% by going through these classes. People may be around you, but not with you when you are in the client call or when you are with your team. Many cases, 99% people won't be with you, even you have people. Only you can be with you. If you are be with you with a skill set, with eligibility, you can become ultimate. Otherwise, you may become struggling consultant. You will be struggling, unlimited struggles for many years. If you want to get a solution, yes, we have 100% job guarantee program. From the day one, you can become ultimate in the project. You can support and people will respect you. Otherwise, all the time they'll be suspecting you. You will be suspecting yourself. You will be struggling. Do I get this month's salary or not? Even you get the salary, you'll be worrying a lot because you are not 100%. You are not eligible in on the floor in the project. You are just 20-25%. Okay, if any possibility, you can opt 100% job guarantee program. If you don't have any possibility, you can buy the risk. No issues. So don't take negative way. I'm just trying to share all the time. If somebody is not able to understand, they may understand. And again, these you are attending the classes. Now these classes videos I'm sharing, I'm going to spread also. Many people will go through these videos. By through these videos they can learn 20-25%. So if they understand what I'm saying, they can be part of 100% job guarantee program. So it doesn't matter where they are. They may be in India or other country or US or UK or Middle East countries. Wherever they are, this is the fact what I'm telling. If somebody is learning through this, they are not going to help themselves, they are not going to help to the company, they are not going to help to the project, they are going to disturb. 25% learning. Yeah. So that's how the reality. My words may be useful for few people who will understand the reality, can take the decision. That is the reason I'm speaking. If you are attending these classes, if you don't like whatever the facts I'm sharing, since there is no option from your side, please ignore, don't reject, ignore. That is my request. Yeah. So if no questions, we can wind up. If you have any questions, please.
Sir, like I cannot come offline and be there because
Yeah,
I'm
no
not.
solution. That's what we discussed in the beginning also,
Oh,
right?
any videos like on.
See, very simple example. I'll give you. Okay, let it be not required. No videos, nothing. Only one option is you have to be on the floor for 7 months, full time. Generally 7 days, but 6 days mandatory.
Okay.
This is just one time only. Just you can enjoy your job. Otherwise, just with the label called a job, you'll be struggling every day to secure your, job or monthly salary, etc., etc. If you are in the 100% job guarantee program, you'll be 100% confident. You'll be able to perform everything which comes to you. You'll be confident in the team. You'll be one of the best team member, or else generally in team will become worst team member. Yeah. So that much difference. I'm clearly telling. This online learning will help you 25%. She's helping 90%, 10% is the tolerance is okay everywhere. But how much tolerance can be, that much you are okay. It's a reverse. Okay, 75% you are missing. See, I don't know where you are. We have people who came from US. We have people who came from Dubai. We have people from other countries also on the floor. So that's how it is. Just when you are learning, you should learn. There should not be shortcuts with some reasons. Yeah. You just think through. If you are planning to work on Oracle Fusion Financials, you should become eligible consultant. Otherwise, you will be in the project after all for your salary. You'll be making project to struggle, company to struggle. Three parties, you, your company, your client. Three parties are involved. Why you are there? To disturb or what? Disturbing them secondary. You will be just literally, not you, the people without knowledge. If somebody is in the project, they'll be literally dying. When I say dying, it is not like real die. Just it's a pain, lot of pain. Yeah, that's how it is. If you want to buy the pain, yes. If you want to, be happy in the project, opt it, enjoy. That's it. Okay. So those are the facts, even little hard based on current arrangement. You are in online classes. I am speaking something nonsense about 100% job guarantee. It may not be possible for you. Why I'm telling, you may help others since you are not able to help yours. Right? Yes, with these classes, you may crack interview, but struggle starts. Yeah, struggle start. Getting job, nothing. Proxy is available in the market. Many people are helping. In weak interview, yes, you can crack because you are 25%. Once you get into that, what they speak, what they do, what they ask, you don't understand. That's all will be in the 75%. Take this conversion also. It can be any conversion, master or transaction, etc. It's a big story that you will learn in the 100% job guarantee program. So again, this part also, what data conversion I explained, it is very deeper level explained within this scope only, not what we are covering in. You are not learning anything what we have in the 100% job guarantee program. So these classes compared to my previous classes within the same course curriculum, I am going deeper, but nothing I am covering which is in the advanced learning of 100% job guarantee program. Always will be in 20 to 25. We never touch 1% also from 75% in these classes. Yeah. So that's how it is. Right. So that's all for today, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Thank you all.